Join us as we delve into the mysterious lives of Omega Level Mutants who, despite their immense potential for good, succumb to the allure of darkness. My name is AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and these are the top 10 Omega Level Mutants who became villains. At number 10 is Quentin Quire, aka Kid Omega, who's a prime example of an Omega Level Mutant who strayed down the dark path of villainy. Initially nurtured by Professor Xavier, who hoped for his potential, Quire's journey took a sinister turn. He formed the notorious Omega Gang, a group hell-bent on mercilessly attacking and, in some instances, unaliving non-mutants. What's truly remarkable, or perhaps terrifying, about Kid Omega is his status as not just an Omega Level Mutant, but a beyond Omega Level Mutant. His powers transcend the boundaries of mortality, allowing him to persist even beyond physical demise, an ability that he's exploited multiple times. But here's the twist. Quentin Quire's mental instability wasn't solely his own doing. He was a pawn in the grand scheme of Sublime, the true architect behind this nefarious substance that further warped Kid Omega's mind and corrupted his gang members. At number 9 is Mr. M. Mr. M is a name shrouded in enigma who holds a unique place among Omega Level Mutants who walk the thin line between heroism and villainy. This dude's abilities encompasses an astounding array from the psionic manipulation to telekinesis, telepathy, and the awe-inspiring power of energy manipulation. But his story takes a twist that mirrors the complexity of the mutant world itself. See, Mr. M's descent into darkness was triggered by a chilling prophetic vision, a harbinger of his transformation into a destroyer. You see, he believed that salvation for his cherished mutant town, a place he'd adopted after years of wandering, lay in eradicating all sickness and corruption. His intentions, albeit misguided, were fueled by a deep desire to protect his home. Though he ultimately failed in his quest, Mr. M remains an anomaly, one of the rare mutants who retain their powers after the cataclysmic M-Day event, leaving us to ponder the intricate interplay between power, purpose, and the blurred lines of heroism and villainy. If you're enjoying this video so far, you can support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing the notification bell. At number 8, we have Shadow King. Shadow King was born from the darkest recesses of human consciousness, and is a complex and formidable Omega-level cosmic entity turned villain. Emil Frank, the mutant vessel for this malevolent entity, who's the mutant in question, possesses the power of telepathy that rivals even Charles Xavier. His psychic dominance extends beyond the ordinary, effortlessly manipulating formidable telepaths like Marvel Girl and Psylocke. But their true menace lies in his ethereal existence, requiring a host body to manifest in the material world. This parasitic attachment grants him extraordinary powers, but also vulnerability, as the demise of his host can disrupt his astral essence for extended periods. The Shadow Man's sinister history includes collaborating with Baron von Strucker to destabilize Britain before the Second World War, aiming to reshape global politics. His awareness of future events, the rise of the X-Men, and Charles Xavier adds a layer of intrigue to his villainous persona. The Shadow King's multi-universal presence and insidious abilities make him a formidable adversary, demonstrating the dark potential of Omega Level Mutants when they fall into villainy. At number 7 is Magneto. Max Eisenhardt, also known as Magneto, stands as one of Marvel's most complex characters. See, initially he embodied the quintessential mutant villain, diametrically opposing Charles Xavier's dream of mutant-human coexistence. Magneto, who was a survivor of World War II, witnessed humanity's darkest facets, making peaceful integration unimaginable for him. Instead, he advocated for mutant supremacy in a genetic war, perceiving humans as the adversary. However, Magneto's narrative trajectory defies simple classification. See, he oscillates between adversary and ally, often leading the X-Men himself. His dynamic character extends to his role as a father, overseeing the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which evolved into a morally ambiguous faction. In contemporary storytelling, Magneto leans towards anti-heroism, driven by a fierce commitment to mutant protection. This complex evolution reflects the rich storytelling potential within Omega Level Mutants, challenging the traditional hero-villain paradigm in the Marvel Universe. At number 6 is David Richards. Omega Level Mutants are the creme de la crop in the mutant world, who usually stand as defenders of both mutants and humanity. But then there's David, a sinister twist in the narrative. He never reached the godlike heights of beings like Mad Jim Jaspers or Hyperion, but make no mistake, he's no ordinary mutant. Sentinels were like playthings for him. He manipulated Blink, teleportation virtuoso, into a macabre dance of suffering with thousands of innocent lives on the line. He's like, okay, imagine Professor X and Magneto and the Phoenix Force rolled into one malevolent entity, and you've got David. Thankfully, David himself never fully harnessed the Phoenix Force, but his penchant for terrorism sent shivers down spines everywhere. At number 5 is Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff, also known as the Scarlet Witch, embodies the complex nature of Omega Level Mutants gone awry in the Marvel Universe. Initially aligned with her father Magneto in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, she and her brother Quicksilver transitioned to heroism by joining the Avengers. However, Wanda's tumultuous history is marked by her struggles with mental instability and reality warping powers. Her pivotal role as the antagonist in the Avengers Disassembled and House of M storylines underscores her capacity for destruction. Notably, she dismantled the Avengers, rewrote reality during M-Day, and committed mass unalivings against Earth's mutant population. These cataclysmic events highlight the earliest consequence of when an Omega Level Mutant's powers are unhinged by personal turmoil. At number 4 is Omega Red. Before you all go yapping in the comments about how this dude's probably a beta level mutant at best, he was described by Dazzler as an Omega Level mutant at one point, so I'm gonna try to defend him because he's actually really cool. Born Arkady Gregorovich Razovich, I definitely butchered that, I'm so sorry, in the depths of Soviet Russia, his past was veiled in darkness. There are interpretations of his origins where he was a mass unaliver, captured because his town was really small and there wasn't very many victims. But instead of facing justice, Razovich was handed over to the KGB for a sinister experiment, an attempt to create a super soldier akin to Captain America. The result was Omega Red, a mutant wielding superhuman strength, stamina, agility, and reflexes. His body also exudes lethal pheromones, aptly named lethal spores, which can swiftly extinguish the lives of ordinary humans. Yet this is just the tip of the iceberg. Implanted within his arms are retractable carbonadium tendrils, formidable weapons capable of ensnaring victims or lashing out like deadly whips. His endurance is staggering, allowing him to battle foes, including Wolverine, for hours without fatigue. At number 3 is Legion. Born from a secret union between Charles Xavier and Gabriel Haller, his early life was marked by tragedy and obscurity. A survivor of a brutal attack, Legion's latent mutant abilities were abruptly awakened, which intertwined his mind with the consciousness of Jamiel Cabril, one of the assailants responsible for the attack. The subsequent psychic battle between his fractured psyche raged for years until he fell under the ominous influence of the Shadow King, which we talked about earlier. Under this malevolent puppeteer's control, Legion became an unwitting agent of chaos, committing heinous acts that fueled hatred and division. Eventually, when he briefly regained control, his actions still remained misguided. His attempt to fulfill his father's dream of human-mutant coexistence by assassinating Magneto backfired catastrophically, thrusting the world into an early revelation of mutants and leading to Xavier's tragic demise, thus leading to the entire events of the Age Apocalypse timeline until Bishop managed to rewrite history again by unaliving Legion himself. At number 2 is President X. In this alternate universe, Charles Xavier, who never established Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, decided to become a politician instead. Yup, that's all it took for Xavier to become the polar opposite counterpart to his 616 version, becoming completely wrathful, cruel, and a sadistic tyrant desiring nothing but total control over everyone around him. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, y'all. Though he's never revealed to be a mutant himself, it's speculated that Xavier's telekinetic abilities aided him in tracking down mutants across the nation. A stark contrast to his 616 counterpart, this Xavier exhibited a cruel and authoritarian rule, causing protests, notably from billionaire Anthony Stark. The catalyst for change arrived as Stark formed the Avengers to counter Xavier's regime, but unfortunately, Xavier's response proved devastating as a missile targeted the Avengers' Quinjet, obliterating its occupants. This tragic loss included iconic figures like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and wait a second, he took out Thor with the missile? Okay. With the big players gone, Xavier's oppressive reign expanded further, with all mutants confined to a grim prison in Texas, subjected to his psychological torment and horrific tendencies. And at number 1 is Vulcan, also known as Gabriel Summers, who emerges from the tangled web of mutant abilities as a formidable figure, overshadowing even his renowned brothers Scott and Alex. His tumultuous upbringing, marked by neglect and isolation, set the stage for his unparalleled powers. Unlike Scott's optic blasts or Alex's energy conversion, Gabriel possesses the astounding gift of energy manipulation and absorption, seemingly boundless in its potential. But what sets Vulcan apart is his ability to vicariously absorb vast quantities of raw energy and retain it within himself like a cosmic reservoir. This stored energy can be wielded at his discretion or redirected as needed, making him a walking powerhouse. In the annals of mutant classification, Vulcan has transcended traditional boundaries, earning him the elusive title of Beyond Omega Level from discerning minds like Rachel Summers. The Summers bloodline, it seems, has birthed not one, but two extraordinary mutants, with Rachel herself as a testament to the family's unparalleled genetic legacy. And as always, if there's a villainous Omega Level mutant that you think I've missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. This has been AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Later, nerds.